Good morning, everybody. Got my book out here. I was going to do some service on this M6060. I think I'm going to start off with changing the hydraulic fluid, so I was just kind of refreshing my memory on which drain plugs to use. It shows there's two drain plugs, and look at the oil capacities and that type of thing. In case anybody's wondering, if you haven't looked in your book, it says change the transmission fluid every 600 hours. I changed mine at 700 hours initially, I think. I went a little over. And it's got 1,400 and some hours on it right now. So it's time to change it again. I do change my filters. Says every 300 hours in here. On average, I change mine about every 280 hours. So I'm pretty well on schedule on changing the filters, which I feel is very important, keeping the filters changed out. But it's time to change the oil. We're going to try using that new that Sten Shield hydraulic oil. And just so everybody knows, it's specifically formulated for UDT2 or UDT systems. It's not a universal type oil of any kind. It's not doesn't say any other brands or compatible with this or compatible with that. It says for UDT systems. So we're going to try it. I feel pretty comfortable with using it. I know most people would probably stick with the Kubota, but I don't really see the difference, and it's enough. So much cheaper. I figured I'd try it. I don't know. It could cost me a big mistake, but we'll find out if I start using it and it seems like it's just don't like my clutch isn't acting right or something's not acting right in the tractor. We'll drain her out and put the Kubota oil back in it. But it is UDT for UDT systems. But we'll find us some tools and get started. If I have time, I'm also going to go ahead and change the engine oil, change the air filters, change fuel filters. It says to change the crankcase ventilation filter at 1,500 hours, and I'm between 1,400 and 1,500 hours right now, so I'm going to go ahead and change it. I also got a new fuel water separator unit. It says you just to clean that, but I went ahead and ordered a new one. I think I'll change it just in case it's got anything in it that won't wash out or anything like that, because with these fuel systems on them now, it don't take any contaminants much to cause damage. So we're going to go ahead and change it out as well. But let's get started. I'm going to go ahead before I start doing anything else and remove this protective screen and get the leaves cleaned out of this shield I've got here. Get the bolts out of it. Got 3 bolts holding it on. I'll just take them out. But you all won't have this to deal with. And there she's out. Now you can get in here too, everything. And I've got holes drilled right there so that the oil can drain out whatever comes down from the filters. But I'll get all that cleaned out and then we'll get to drain. Alright, now here's one of your drain plugs, and right here's one. This one, I'm going to use 1 1/16 boxed in wrench on. This one here, a 22 millimeter. There may be a metric equivalent to this one. But I don't have it, and this one fits it good, so that's what we're going to use. Now, wish me luck, because my drain pans are not going to hold 15 gallon of hydraulic oil. We're going to have to drain some, put the plug back in, put another pan in, drain some more. Wish these drain pans had a sight glass in the side of them. A little clear spot. Because, hey, you know when they're going to be full? You don't. Oh, getting pretty heavy. I believe I want to shut it down for the moment. Move you all out of the way so I don't get oil on you. Slide this and out. Oh yeah, I believe I've overfilled it. Put this one in. You know what we need? A heated floor. Right, I'm going to take the second drain plug out, which is the 22mm. Then I got my loader raised up. I'm gonna go up there and let it down and push whatever oil's in them cylinders the rest of the way out. Let that drain down and snug our plugs back up, then we'll go to the filters. I went ahead and pulled both filters out. You can see right here there's a few metal shavings on this one. Looks like still some mill shavings from the factory. That's what it looks like to me. But them magnets are very important right there. I would not put a filter in without a magnet in it. I think the new ones I've got them, but I'm going to save these magnets for, might use them for something one day. It's dirty back in there around where them filters was. I want to take some cleaner and spray in there and clean all that up and wipe it off before I put my new filters back on. Okay, time to get our filters. Let's get the oldest first. These on the bottom are the oldest ones. Just gonna stand them up now that they'll fit in there like that. These are HHTAO-3 7710 is the part number for your filter. Should be the same for M6060 as well. Okay, we've got everything cleaned up good. I took some carbon choke cleaner and sprayed around in there and wiped it all down. Got any grit or grime off of there. One of them filters had been leaking a little bit. I don't know if it wasn't tightened up good or if it was where I don't know, maybe left some contaminants in there last time, because where we had changed it without draining the fluid, you have to do it so quick. May not have got it cleaned off and had a little something in there and didn't seal good, but it had been leaking just slightly, so hopefully it won't leak now. Right here is what your new filter looks like when you unpackage it. Got this nice seal on it, a new fresh magnet in there. Make sure your magnet's seated in there good. I have got them before that magnet's been broke. If that's the case, return it and get you a new one. Don't even try to use that filter because there could be particles down in there. Heavy. A Kubota filter is a heavy duty filter. I would never buy anything but a Kubota filter for a Kubota tractor. Get me a little bit of fresh motor oil. Would use hydraulic oil, but I don't have a small quart of it, and I don't want to get the bucket over here right now. Smear a little around that seal. Put the lid back on my little bucket of oil before I have it poured everywhere and setting in it. Wipe my finger off. Now I'm going to start, I don't know how good I can do filming this, but I'm going to start with the filter in the rear, putting it on. Probably not going to be able to get my camera in here anyway, and me get in here too. And snug it up just a little. Okay. Next filter. Make sure I remove the plastic cover. Magnets in good condition. Whoop. A little bit of oil on the gasket. You know, it always helps to grunt a little bit. Alright, hopefully them won't leak now. We'll leave this off until I get it filled up and run it. And I do have my drain plugs back in. I always check it because I have went to filling up an engine before and not had a drain plug in it. Found that out the hard way when it was pouring back out on the floor. Alright. We got our dipstick out, which goes right here. Got our fill plug out. I got a funnel here, got a zip tie on the funnel. Hooked around behind this top link holder. That way, hopefully my funnel won't flop over out there. I got a pump to pump these buckets with. A hand pump, but it acts like something's wrong with it. And Clayton's been using it to pump used oil, so I don't really want to take a chance on it. I'll just pour it into these. Get me a new pump sometime. Okay, the oil's in. Move our funnel. Crank it up. Let it run a little bit. Lift our lift arms up and down. Lift our loader up and down and check it again. You can hear a little vibration in there where it's priming the pump, filling the filters up. Raise the lift arms up. cycled everything through. May have it a little bit overfull. I put a little bit extra in there thinking where I'd drained the oil out of that loader. Got just a little dab too much in there. I calculated it up, or I had about a liter, 0.79 of a liter too much. It's supposed to take 59 liters, and I had 59.79 in there. So I went ahead and pumped some out. I put me a hose on the end of a little pump and pumped it down to where it's supposed to be and put it back in the jug to keep. I figured that was a little too much to leave in there. Yeah, I wanted it to be correct. Most Kubotas, I think, that I've seen people changing oil on and stuff has the dual drain plugs. The drive shaft goes through between the oil pan, and you have to oh, that's tight, drain each side of the oil pan. Oh, wonder who tightened that up. 22 millimeters again. You know what, let's do this. Take that out hoist. And hopefully it don't splatter me in the face. Clean our plugs off. And get them put back in. There's a rubber gasket right there made into your oil pan. You have to get that thing pushed up through and started, which sometimes, like right now, can be aggravating. There it goes. Same thing when you're taking it out. Once the thread's unloosed, you kind of have to pull it and get the pop down out of that gasket. Snug them up good. Now we'll move to the filter. There's not a lot of room around this filter here. You just about have to have a strap style wrench to get it loose. And it's even kind of snug getting back in there. Let that drain a little bit while we're getting a new filter. This filter here, the oil filter, is a HH1CO32430. Also should be the same for the M6060. Put a little oil around it. Wipe off the face of the sealing surface. Make sure there's nothing there. And get her started back on. Put a wrench back on there and snug it up just a little. You can't get much torque on there with your bare hands while it's in there. That should be good. Come on out there. There we go. Okay. Got her plugs in. Filter on. Next, fill her up. They put this filler plug in an excellent place to get to. Just love filling this tractor up with oil. Takes 12.7 quarts. And make sure you got the CJ-4 motor oil. I use Rotella 15W40 T4 triple protection, and meets CK-4, CJ-4, CI-4 plus, and CI-4, CH-4. Whole bunch of CCs, something others. Rotella, I've used Rotella for years, and have always liked it. Get this thing filled up and I'll check back up, let it run a little bit, check for leaks, double check our oil level. Looks good. We'll let it run a little bit there and then I'll recheck my oil level, make sure it's good. I already took a filter wrench and loosened this filter up, got my fuel turned off. Little spacer goes down in the bottom. It don't look like it's got too much junk in it. Now we'll pop our little screen off. It's got a little bit of junk in it. That stuff right there is so thin, it'd be easy to puncture it. And real fine holes in it. I believe we'll change it. I think I've got one. Okay. Got the new element right here. Got it up in there. I just seen something drop. I'll make sure it didn't go down in here. They like to leave plenty of room to get the stuff, don't they? I cleaned that bowl out real good, used carbon choke cleaner. Cleaned it out and took a rag, clean paper towel, and a screwdriver, and cleaned it. Just have to be careful with these plastic bowls, not to bust them. Snug that back. Now I might have to get a different wrench to get this one off. And again, not the easiest thing to get out of there without making a mess. Fuel filter is 1J800-43170. I think you can also have a 7.2 there, which works also. Why they have them set up that way, I don't know, but I got one of each here and they look the same. And both times I've ordered them for the tractor, not by the part number. So it should work. Put a little oil on my thing. Normally I would fill this filter up on about anything else before I put it on, but since it's hard to get in here, and hope I ain't in your own way too bad, but it's hard to get in here, and where this tractor has that electric fuel pump, I'll just take the bleed screw off. And let the fuel pump fill it. Turn my fuel back on down here. Turn the key on. You can see it starting to fill it back up. Crack this little bleeder off on top. See that little screw right there? Crack that and let it fill up till the fuel starts coming out of it. You hear the sound of that pump change? Okay, we're getting fuel up here. And where that thing's got a return line on it back to the tank from for its electric pump, it won't pressurize that up there like it would like if you're manually priming something with an old style tractor. Alright, let's fire it off and see what happens. Again, check for leaks. Looks good. Okay, now, here's one I haven't changed before, which is the oil separator. That's twisting that hose up. I should try to remove that hose off of there. It says to do this at 1,500 hours. And there's the old one. I am not 100% sure what that does. I'm gonna have to look it up, see what the purpose of this is. But wipe it off, clean it up good. You got a little O-ring around there. Get it cleaned off. Wipe around this bottom edge here. This one is 1J770-05810. Okay, it comes with a new O-ring. Top or bottom to this thing or not, I don't. Doesn't appear to be any difference in them that I can see as far as top and bottom. Take the old one out, put the new one in. Okay. Put the new element up in there. Make sure it seats up good. Anytime you got a plastic cap like that, you definitely don't want to take a chance on cross-threading it. And that was fairly loose. So we'll just snug her up a little. Put the hose back. And work her clamp back up there, and should be good to go on that. Next, we'll change our air filter, just gotta take your clips loose. I already had them loose. Lay this thing up here out of the way. Our element will slide right out till that one's getting pretty dusty. Well, and I've also cleaned it not too long ago. I got a new inner filter for it, but that one looks pretty good shape still. I don't see that nothing's much is passed through. Let's compare them here. Tell you what, I think since I've got it, I'll go ahead and put the new one in there, and I'll save this one. Seems like that's got a little tighter seal on it. I'll just write old on this so I know it's not a brand new one. That is part number 3A111-19130. And then the outer element is 590-26110. Now you can tell a big difference in that one compared to the one that come out. Make sure that's in good, which it is. Shut in good. Make sure that's to the bottom. Of course, that says top on it. And snap her back. Check my battery. Can't see down in there. I'll have to have me a light. Should show green though, if it's good still. I have already cleaned my radiator, blowed it all out and everything here back a while. And cleaned my engine off as far as leaf blowed it and the air hose and stuff back in there. I adjusted my front axle already the other day. So, that's a pretty good service. Clayton has greased it back when I had it in the shop waxing it and cleaned it. He greased it that day, so I think that's got everything covered. Hope that helps you. And if you got any questions, just leave it in the comments, send me an email or whatever you want to do there. But something like this, you know, you just want to take your time and make sure you do everything right. It's expensive. I've already had everything ordered for a while to do it with, and I usually try to keep some extra stuff. At least 2 changes worth of filters and stuff here. For the most part, you never know what could happen, and that way you got it. Like it's COVID stuff going on, you don't want to get caught with your pants down. Another thing, you want to lock that. I ain't got my boot down in there. I had that out, sprayed some lubricant down in the plungers on this control valve, or control. Didn't lock it back. But anyways, you got this lock right here to where it locks your handle. Anytime you got your loader raised up working on it, be sure and lock that handle. That way a kid or a cat or something don't knock it down, or your wife come around and see a good chance for cash in on some life insurance or something. Always lock that out. But y'all have a good one. We'll catch you on the next one.